Who is Judge Holden? In Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, one of the most mysterious and terrifying figures in all of literature appears, Judge Holden. He is a giant of a man, hairless from head to toe, with a massive frame and a face that seems more like a mask or statue than flesh. Nobody knows where he comes from or who he truly is. Yet from the moment he enters the story, his presence is commanding and deeply unsettling. Physical appearance. McCarthy describes Holden as if he were some earthly monster, towering, broad-shouldered, pale, and utterly devoid of hair. He has almost no features that tie him to ordinary humanity. This strange, unnatural appearance gives him an otherworldly, symbolic quality, as if he were less a man than a force of nature. His strange, threatening smile and his piercing gaze make him terrifying even without weapons. Knowledge and mastery of language. Judge Holden is not only a warrior, he is also a philosopher. He speaks multiple languages, draws maps, makes scientific observations, and discusses history, music, geology, and theology. Among his illiterate and violent companions, he stands like a teacher who knows everything. This combination of brutal violence and intellectual brilliance makes him even more frightening. McCarthy shows us how knowledge and culture can be used as instruments of destruction. His philosophy of war. One of Holden's defining traits is his philosophy of war. For him, war is not merely a human conflict, it is the ultimate truth of the universe. He famously declares, "War is God." In Holden's worldview, existence itself is rooted in violence and struggle. Peace is an illusion, and only through war do people reveal who they truly are. This terrifying perspective does not just explain the brutality of his gang, it frames all of history and civilization as inseparable from violence. Relationship with the kid. Throughout the novel, Holden develops a strange and unsettling relationship with the protagonist, known only as the kid. He tries to dominate the boy's mind and soul, testing him, advising him, threatening him. Over time, a profound moral struggle emerges between them. The kid, with his quiet resistance and faint sense of conscience, becomes a symbolic counterforce to Holden's absolute philosophy. Their conflict reflects the novel's larger question: can humanity resist the pull of relentless violence? Judge as a symbol. Critics often argue that Holden is more than just a character. He is a symbol. Many see him as a representation of absolute evil, a demonic figure disguised in human form. Others interpret him as the embodiment of war itself, a force that never ends, that reappears in every age, and that demands eternal devotion. McCarthy's message through Holden. By creating Judge Holden, McCarthy shows us that violence is not an aberration but a constant part of human history. The judge reminds us that war and bloodshed are not temporary accidents. They are woven into the very fabric of civilization. At the same time, Holden warns us that knowledge without morality is just as dangerous as blind cruelty. Intelligence and learning in his hands become weapons. Judge Holden is one of the most complex and terrifying characters in literary history. He is at once a philosopher, a warrior, a teacher, and a symbol of evil. His inhuman appearance, his ruthless philosophy, and his constant presence throughout the story make him unforgettable. Ultimately, Holden poses a question that lingers long after the novel ends. If evil is this powerful, this intelligent, and this seductive, what hope does humanity have of resisting it?